Before we begin this evening's proceedings, I would like to initiate the Shanti Mantra prayer, Sahana Bhavatu. I request all the students to join me. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam, offering my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our dearest Sadguru, Sri Madhusudan Sai. On behalf of all the staff, students, and the administration section of the university, Sri Satyasai University for Human Excellence, it is my privilege and honor to welcome Swami Shantivratananda ji for having graciously accepted our prayers to teach and explain to us the most beautiful composition of Adi Shankaracharya, the Manisha Panchakam. Swami Shantivratananda ji is a motivational speaker with a dynamic approach to Vedanta and its essence. After being initiated into the monastic order of the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa order of monks by the revered Swami Atmasthananda ji Maharaj, he has served in various capacities and has taught in the Sri Ramakrishna Institute of Moral and Spiritual Education in Mysore for almost 8.5 years. Swamiji has been awarded many accolades for his excellence in philosophy and Advaita Vedanta from the universities of Bangalore and Mysore. He has also authored many philosophical books, including Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Educational Philosophy of Gandhiji, Swami Tyagishananda, and many more. Currently, Swamiji is serving as the Minister in charge of the Ramakrishna Vedanta Center, Dublin, in the Republic of Ireland. It is our great privilege to be a part of this session to delve into the beauty of Vedanta through the beautiful composition Manisha Panchakam. Thank you once again, Swamiji, for granting your most valuable time to teach and inspire us all. Over to you, Swamiji.
Thank you. May I know, this post-graduation, graduation students who are attending today?
The students of the second year BA and BSc of the undergraduate course, Swami.
Okay. Jananim Sharadam Devi Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhum Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. My sincere appreciation for this Satyasai University for this wonderful introducing the Paravidya during the academic studies. If you see our Indian Gurukula education system, Paravidya and Aparavidya both were taught. As a result, a complete personality was emerged. Enlightened citizens were coming out mostly in the olden days. But unfortunately today, the education has become a breadwinning education, or just to get the salary, to get the power position. As a result, just education has been limited resources. But Satyasai Institutes and Ramakrishna Mission, several institutes are trying to bring back the Gurukula system again once more. So in this pursuit, I'm very happy that I am able to make my humble service to my motherland and also in spreading the Vedanta among the young Indians. My dear young Indians, today is a memorable day, historical day, as you all know, for all of us. Even at least you are in India, you are all, I think today I was seeing the ISRO official YouTube, even leaving my lunch and sitting here, and lunchtime it was ours, sitting aside and watching. 7 million people were watching just in the ISRO official. Then there are so many TV channels, public and private, and so many things. Everywhere, few thousands were there. So today, once more, United India, Eka Bharata was very well portrayed by all the Indians. I think we should all feel proud of our ISRO scientists and the whole Indians. And such a glorious India we have got. And in every field, in culture, in science, or in philosophy, in all these fields, definitely we have done great achievements, and still we are yet to achieve all these things. And we, the young Indians now, it is our responsibility to shape our personalities during your education time or as a study days. You have to shape your personality so that you can hold the torch in forthcoming days, and you can feel the Bharat Mata as a proud, and you should feel that, and India should feel proud of you. For that, Paravidya and Aparavidya both are necessary. So that you have to understand. Having said this, or having giving this just a simple basic introduction, and also it reminds me previous year I had taken, I think some of you might have attended the classes on Tattva Bodha, where we had discussed the introductory text. So what is the introductory text, or what is the Prakarana Grantha we had seen in the earlier class? Hence, I'm not going to discuss about the Prakarana Grantha. I'll be going directly to the one of the Prakarana Grantha, which is called Manisha Panchakam. Now, the question may come for all of us, why should we go, or why should we study this introductory text? We can go directly to Bhagavad Gita or Upanishads or Brahma Sutras directly, isn't it? To study them, which are generally bit advanced text. So for that, you need a preparation. For example, in a graduation, you are trying to know analytical geometry, calculus, or then what you say, trigonometry, all these things. So to understand, to comprehend all these things in your high school, in your middle school, or in your +1, +2, that is in PUC, you have made lot of homework. You have done lot of intellectual exercise. That is the reason when you come to the graduation, you were able to understand the complex problems with respect to maths. So similarly, to understand the advanced philosophy, we have to do some homework, spiritual homework or philosophical homework. And these Prakarana Granthas are introductory texts where sometimes some of the Prakarana Granthas like Tattva Bodha, Aparokshanubhuti, or Vedanta Sara, there most of the main ideas, main topics of the Advaita Vedanta is discussed. In some of the Prakarana Granthas, like Drugdrishya Viveka, Manisha Panchakam, so these are the few introductory texts or Prakarana Granthas where the author takes one or two topics of the main topics of the Advaita Vedanta and they go deeply into that subject. So in the Manisha Panchakam or Drugdrishya Viveka, all the topics have not been discussed. 6 topics generally they say. So 1 or 2 topics only they have discussed either in the Manisha Panchakam or in the Drugdrishya Viveka. Now this Manisha Panchakam, whoever knows a bit Sanskrit, you'll be able to understand it is something to do with the 5. So this Manisha Panchakam is one of the smallest introductory text, Prakarana Grantha, which has got only 5 verses actually. And Manisha, what is this Manisha? Mana plus Isha, Manisha. Mana plus Isha, Manisha it has become. What here Mana? Mana means mind. We all know that. That is the general meaning. Isha means it is a Lord. That's what we understand. But here, Mana means mind, or Isha means it is a Lord of the mind. So Lord of the mind is probably speaking of the Lord, Vishnu, Ishvara, Shiva, or something. No. Here, Mana means it is actually firm conviction. It is not just a mind. The literal meaning is mind, but the applied meaning, probably you should be knowing by this time, Lakshyartha and Vachyartha. So here, the Vachyartha, if you take it as a mind, the Lakshyartha, it should be then firm conviction, firm understanding, right understanding or firm understanding is the meaning of the Mana. Then what about the Isha? Isha means the power. Here, the Lakshyartha, the applied meaning of the Isha is here, the power or function. So Manisha means the power of the mind, the function of the mind. So what is that power of the mind, power of the function if you ask? Here it is knowledge. Firm knowledge, firm conviction, firm understanding. If you want me to say in Sanskrit, Nishchaya Gnanam. Manisha, the meaning of the Manisha here is Nishchaya Gnanam. So what is the Nishchaya Gnanam? Okay, sine theta by cos theta is equal to 1, something we read in trigonometry and all. So I have got a proper understanding, I've got a right understanding of this. Or if you have got from student of biology or especially zoology, okay, I've studied well about phylums. There are 10 or 11 types of phylums. I know everything, phylums, arthropoda, andromeda, all these things I know very well. So I've got a firm idea, firm knowledge about the phylums. So is that firm conviction the author is trying to say? No. So in Advaita Vedanta, the firm conviction is something to do with the self or Chaitanya or consciousness, which is the thing which we all know, that Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. The self is real and the world is an appearance, and there is no essential difference between the Supreme Self and the individual self. This is the Siddhanta Vakya, tagline of Advaita Vedanta. So firm conviction is this tagline is what the author is trying to say. So and also if you see the 5 verses when we study, we will understand every verse the author ends with this Manisha. Iti Manisha, it ends. So that is also maybe one of the reason this particular 5 verses, the group of 5 verses has been taken as the Manisha Panchakam. Now the firm conviction is what? Firm conviction is the self or the Brahman alone is real and the world is a just projection or an appearance, and there is no difference between Supreme Self and individual self. This is what the firm conviction. And now how this firm conviction one can get? If you ask, the author is going to tell. Only if you deeply think or contemplate on this subject, you'll be able to get all these ideas. How this firm conviction can be attained? Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannata. Through Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannata, one can attain this firm conviction according to the technical way. If you want me to say from the Upanishadic language or Shankaracharya's commentary language, that is Gnananishta Yogyata. By practicing Sadhana Chatushtaya, we get Gnananishta Yogyata. By Gnananishta Yogyata, when we study Shavana Manana Nidhyasana, when we study Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, we get Aham Asmi Brahma Gnana. And there's a beautiful story behind this Manisha Panchakam. The story goes like this. In the Kashi, Banaras, Adi Shankaracharya, along with his disciples, he went to Ganges and he had a holy dip. And you know that in the traditional mutts, that is in Shrungeri Mutt or there's Sonda Mutt, Ramchandrapura Mutt and all, in Madhva Mutt and all, in the traditional mutts, generally they don't, they try to keep them aloof. So generally we are not supposed to touch them. We are not supposed to touch their body. We are not supposed to touch their feet and do the namaskars or pranams. Of course, it has got its scientific reasons. That is a different issue. Generally, we are not supposed to touch. Now, Adi Shankaracharya, after finishing his bath along with his disciples, he was just coming to Lord Vishwanath Darshan. By that time, already was a reputed philosopher, reputed monk, and a great saint. Whoever people see, they used to bow down out of respect there. Now, in front of him, Shiva, the Lord Shiva, Kashi Vishwanatha, he is coming. He came in a disguised form, in the form of a Chandala. Chandala is a person who is born in a lower caste. He has taken birth and he eats non-veg and he drinks. He eats all type of non-veg things and he drinks also. And mostly he will be having some dogs and he will be taking care of the, cremation ground work, especially burning the dead bodies, and all these things will be there. This is the general description about the Chandala. In different works, there are different descriptions also. But this is the standard description. And that type of Chandala who is having the liquor with him and in between is having a sip, and with that intoxicated state, without any proper bathing and without having a dirty clothes, is coming. Generally, when we see such type of a person who is drunkard and who doesn't have a proper clothes or a good clothes and all, generally we try to avoid because of hygiene and because of conduct and all. And now Shankaracharya is a Brahmin and also is a monk and is not supposed to touch this type of people. One is it becomes unholy, with they say in the externally, but otherwise simply touching them, getting into contact, their sadhana can be affected. That is actually reason. Then he said, Gacha, Gacha, he said. Adi Shankaracharya, he addresses Chandala and said, Gacha, Gacha. Gacha, Gacha means move away from me, move away from me. Now, when this move away, when Adi Shankaracharya said, very interestingly, this Chandala is supposed to be illiterate person. He doesn't know anything Sanskrit, he doesn't know to read and write, and forget about Shastras and all. That is the general impression, that is the general what experience of the people we have come across. But astonishingly, when Shankaracharya addressed him and said, Gacha, Gacha, get away from me, get away from me, I would like to go further, because if you are there in front of me, I don't want to touch you and I don't want to go in the way you are standing. Then immediately Chandala, he asks, Annamaya Dannamayam Athava Chaitanyameva Chaitanyat Vijavara Duri Kartum Vanchasi Kim Bruhi Gacha Gacheti. It's a simple Sanskrit. Whoever knows Sanskrit bit will be able to understand. Now, these two verses which I am going to tell now, this has been addressed by Chandala. That's what the story says. Whether it has been told by him or it has been composed by someone else in the later time, we do not know. Now, the Chandala is questioning the Adi Shankaracharya. Dvijavara, hey Dvijavara, 8 wise-born person, you are a Brahmana, you have got that Brahmanatva, I am Brahmana, that superiority complex you have got, I know. Hey Dvijavara, hey Brahmin, Duri Kurtam Vanchasi Kim. You are interested in getting distant, or you are trying to ask someone, or you are trying to say that you are desiring to distant something. Bruhi, please tell me, Gacha Gacheti. Bruhi Gacha Gacha. And you are saying that Gacha Gacha iti. You are saying thus, Gacha, get away, get away. What are you asking to get away, get away? He's giving the reason, 2 reasons. Annamaya Annamayam. Your body is also made up of Anna, and my body is also made up of Anna. Anna means not only rice, it is basically food. So your body is made up of food. You are a Brahmin, no doubt, but your body is made up of food. I am a Chandala, no doubt. Even my body is also made up of food. That means it is equal only. Whatever your body has got, blood, your skin, bone marrow, filthy things, whatever your body has got, even similarly, my body also has got same thing. So it is also equal then. Then why are you asking me to get away? Or are you asking my body to get away? Then Athava, otherwise, Chaitanyameva Chaitanya. You are the Advaitin, you are the propounder of Advaita philosophy. And you say that Aham Brahmasmi, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. I am Brahman and Brahman alone exist, nothing else. That is your philosophy. That's what even people are speaking about you highly. So, if you are Brahman, you are the consciousness, even I am also the consciousness, even I am also the Brahman. Brahman means not the Chaturmukha Brahma, creator Lord Brahma, here Brahman the self. So you are also self and I am also self. Then whom you are asking? Either you are asking, thinking that you are a body and I am a body, asking to get away, or you are consciousness and I am consciousness. Are you asking me as a conscious to get away? Now, whoever, if you have studied bit Advaita Vedanta, if you study philosophy, if you know bit philosophy, you'll be able to know both are illogical. Because I have as a body and body, both are equal, both have got same type of, what do you say, dirts and made up of same materials, then just get away from that. It will be illogical, it will be nonsensical. Then if coming from conscious point of view, I am conscious and you are conscious, there is only one consciousness, then where is the question of get away? Then where is the question of duality at all? And you are the propounder of Advaita Vedanta, which is a non-dualistic philosophy. What you are asking? So there was a great shock for the Adi Shankaracharya when these 2 questions were heard or asked by this Chandala. Then he says, then Chandala is asking the second, his question is in a verse form. Kim Gangambuni Bimbatembara Mano Chandala Vati Payaha Purecha Antaramasti Kanchana Gati Brut Kumbayor Vambare Pratyeg Vastuni Nistaranga Sahajanandava Bodam Budau Viproyam Swapachoyam Ityapi Mahan Koyam Viveda Brahma. Of course, this is a bit difficult. Difficult in the sense, if you know good Sanskrit only, you can understand. That's the reason I will be telling the meaning, the overall meaning. Is there any difference between the reflection of the sun in the waters of the Ganga or its reflection in the water in the ditch, not in the drainage, or in the quarters of the drainage which is running in the quarters of the outcasted people? You tell me. And one more point is, there is a space in a golden part, and there is a space also in the earthen part also. There is a space in the golden part, and there is a space in the earthen part also. Then is there any difference between the space which is in the golden part and the space which is in the earthen part? Is there any difference between these two spaces? Because one is in golden part, the other is in earthen part. What is this illusion of difference in the form? This is a Brahmana and this is an outcast person, Chandala. But both in both of us, there is only one self, which is called Brahman, which is the ripple-free ocean of bliss and pure consciousness. Means the author is, the Chandala is telling that now there is a water. The sunlight is falling on the Ganges. The sunlight is falling in the drainage, which is running in the quarters of the outcasted people, Chandala's quarters. By that, sunlight is getting pure or impure? Because the sunlight which falls on the Ganga, it becomes purer, it becomes holier because it is falling on the Ganga, and some sunlight is falling on the drainage water. First of all, it is the drainage water, and the drainage water which is running in the Chandala's quarters, in their huts, in their drainage, which is the most unholy it can be. So the sunlight which is falling on the drainage water, that too which is running in the Chandala's quarters, outcasted people's quarters, is there any difference? Or is the sunlight is getting tainted in which has fallen on the drainage water, and which has been, if the sunlight which is falling on the Ganga, is it becoming holier? Please tell me. Or the similar is, because there is a space in the golden part, gold we all value it, we give a lot of value, it is very great metal or whatever. So the space in the golden part is much more better, because other compared to the space which is in earthen part. Earthen part, very common, very normal. We can easily get it. So the space in the earthen part, the space in the golden part, is there any difference? No, there is no difference. Either the sunlight which falls on the Ganges and the drainage, it is untainted, it cannot get tainted at all. So it is beyond that. And the space between the earthen part and the golden part, both are same. There's only one space. There are no two space. There are no multiple space. Then for whom you are asking to gacha, gacha, get away, get away. So when these questions were asked by Chandala to the Shankaracharya, it was a tight slap on Shankaracharya. Because he never expected such a philosophical question, such a Vedantic thought or Vedantic doubt from the outcast person, from the Chandala. When he heard this, then his internal understanding or wisdom or the right understanding got opened, got enlightened. We all know that who am I? I am the Atman, I am the Brahman, we all know that. But unfortunately, we forget. We don't understand many times, or we forget. As a result, we keep on doing some mistakes. For example, probably this might have happened in your hostels. Two of your friends are talking something. One of the person made a very slang joke. The other person said, "How can you make this type of slang joke? You are the student of Satyasai University. What did you hear? What were we supposed to do?" Immediately then you come to consciousness. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to do that. I am aware that I'm the student of Satyasai University. I'm not supposed to behave in a weird way, unlike the youngsters they do outside, they behave outside. I've got a lot of responsibility. We know that, but sometimes because of young adolescents or because of forgetfulness, I may do some mistake. Immediately when some people, when a person, when a friend or my own teacher or someone made this comment, being a student of Satyasai University, how can you make this? How can you behave like this? When they say, immediately I became conscious and I start behaving properly. So I knew that, but I had forgotten. The same thing happened to Shankaracharya. He knew that very well, that he is the Brahman and everything is Brahman and everyone is Brahman alone and all other illusion. But probably at that given point of time, that knowledge or that wisdom was covered. A thin layer of ignorance was covered. This Chandala came and he opened it. He removed that ignorance. Then, just in a blink of second, that Chandala, either he walked away or he got disappeared. Then Adi Shankaracharya, where the Chandala was standing, that place, he bowed down and he did pranam and he touched his hand on that same soil and he applied as a vibhuti, just like monks, we all apply vibhuti or everyone. So he applied that sand, the dust of the sand as a vibhuti, saying that he should be either Brahmagnani or he may be Ishvara, Kashi Vishwanatha, he might have come, or some Avadhuta or whatever. Is the great person. So when this experience he had, then instantly some verses came. The Advaitic, greatest Advaitic verses came in the 5 verses form. That is called Manisha Panchakam. And so this is the story. Now, some people say, we don't know, Swamiji, whether the story happened or not, whether it can be what you say, it is like a mythology, it might be created, etc., etc. People may argue. Generally, we all consider that it has happened. Even for argument's sake, if we consider that it has not happened, but here the truth we have to understand, the purport we have to take it is, even all of us, either by studying Gita, by studying Upanishads, by studying philosophy, or by hearing the statements or the teachings of the great saints, we know who am I, what I am, but still we keep on forgetting and we behave foolishly, we act foolishly. So these are the granthas, or these are the teachings of the great saints and philosophers, which makes us to remember, recapitulate our understanding, who I am, who am I, who am I, who am I. So even if you take the spiritual significance, the spiritual esoteric meaning of the story, so it is a reminder for all of us that to make us understand who am I. Probably you might have heard the Upanishadic story, the great story, Dashatvamasi. You are the 10th person. Every one of us, they knew, but while they were counting, they were leaving themselves, and that's why they were crying, the 10th person, 10th one is missing, 10th one is missing, 10th one is missing. Then someone came, said, and you are the 10th one. Immediately said, I am the 10th one. So the knowledge was there already, but just a thin layer of ignorance was covering. Then by saying someone's utterances, that ignorance was removed. So why we have to study these things? One is from academical level, from academical point of view, to study the advanced text like Upanishads and Brahma Sutras, we have to do some homeworks. And this is a type of homework. Intellectual understanding, one thing. And second thing is, we know 4 Mahavakyas. The 4 Mahavakyas has been told in the 4 verses actually. The 5th verse is the total essence of it. So that is also you have to understand. So what are the 4 Mahavakyas? And what are these Mahavakyas? Vakya means sentence. Mahavakya means great sentence. Why there are only 4 Mahavakyas? No, there are many Mahavakyas in the Upanishads. This Mahavakyas has been taken by Upanishads. What this Mahavakya says actually? The Mahavakya says, or it reminds our real nature. Who am I? I am that Satchidananda. So that has been beautifully told in the possible, in a word or 2 words or 3 words, in a formula way. A plus B whole square is equal to A square plus TAB plus B square. We all know that formulas, sutra form. So in the formula way, the whole essence of Upanishads has been given. The inherent nature has been told in a 1 or 2 or 3 words. That is called Mahavakyas, which are called great sentences. Now, for our understanding, for our study's sake, though there are so many Mahavakyas, but traditionally we have accepted 4 Mahavakyas. And these 4 Vakyas are taken from 4 Vedas. For example, Pragnanam Brahma. This Pragnanam Brahma means consciousness is Brahman. It has been taken from Aitharya Upanishad. Pragnanam Brahma has been taken from Aitharya Upanishad. And if you have studied the Upanishads and all bit, this Aitharya Upanishad is the part of Rig Veda. Aitharya Upanishad and Rig Veda. So the Pragnanam Brahma has been taken from Aitharya Upanishad and Rig Veda. Then, which is often we always tell, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi has been, I am that Brahman, I am that Brahman. This has been taken from Brodanyaka Upanishad. Aham Brahmasmi has been taken, curled from Brodanyaka Upanishad. Brodanyaka Upanishad is part of Yajurveda. So Rigveda over, Yajurveda over. Aitharya Upanishad, Brodanyaka Upanishad. Then Ayamatma Brahma. This self is Brahman. This Atman is Brahman. This self is Brahman. Ayamatma Brahma. Ayamatma Brahma has been taken from Mandukya Upanishad. Ayamatma Brahma is taken from Mandukya Upanishad, that is from Atharvana Veda. So Rigveda over, Yajurveda over, Atharvana Veda over. What else? The last Veda is Sama Veda. It should be then the Tattvamasi. This Tattvamasi, Mahavakya Vichara when we do, generally we all do with this Tattvamasi. You are that. The Tattvamasi has been taken from Chandogya Upanishad, and Chandogya Upanishad is part of the Samaveda. So before getting into the verse, if any of you have got any question, I'll be happy to answer. Have you got anything? Any question or any doubt till now?
Swamiji, this was a very thought-provoking session tonight. A few questions the students have asked, and among them one is, how can we always think about this, this beautiful thought of Aham Brahmasmi and Sarvam Brahmasti? How can we always keep on thinking and reminding ourselves that we are also Brahman and everything around us also is Brahman, the true reality? Because in our daily lives, we always see dualities, we always come across problems, come across many difficulties, and that gets us, that pushes us into the ahamkara bhava, mamakara bhava, that I am the doer and I am the bhokta, I am the enjoyer bhava. How can we get away from this and how can we go into the aham brahma bhava? This is one question that the boys have asked.
Yeah. So I think in Adhyatma Ramayana or in the Yoga Vasishta, this has been beautifully discussed, and it is told, Tat Chintanam, Tat Katanam, Tat Prabodhanam Anyonya, Ekat Eka Paratvancha Brahmabhyasa Vidur Buddhaha. Buddhaha means Panditas. We all know that, the knower of the self. Viduhu, the knower of the self. What did they say? Etat Eka Paratvancha. This is the only way. This is the only route, or this is the only way to understand the reality, to comprehend the reality. What is that? Tat Chintanam. As much as possible, we should be keep on thinking about that. Thinking means it is not brooding, it is either contemplating. The conscious thought, conscious thinking here. Tat Chintanam, Tat Katanam. When we are 2 or 3 or 4 people, when friends and whatever, we keep on chatting something, so many things, sometimes useful talks, sometimes useless talks also. Okay, but as much as possible, we should be keep on discussing, either with the friends or with the seniors or with the juniors or with ourselves. Sometimes we have got a habit, some of us, we keep on talking with ourselves. Even talking with ourselves has to be done on this, that is on the Atman or Brahman. Tat Chintanam, Tat Katanam, Tat Prabodhanam Anyonya. When we are talking, discussing with others, when we are debating with others, when we are discussing with others, we should keep on discussing about it. Tat Prabodhanam Anyonya. Etat Eka Paratvancha Brahmabhyasa Vidurbuddha. So as much as possible, we have to practice that. Keep on thinking that. And for this, probably what I had practiced in my life, as soon as we get up immediately, with the strong thought of the Atma Bhava or Brahma Bhava or Bhagavad Bhava, we should start. And whenever is possible, keep on remembering it, keep on thinking it. And when you go to bed also, you probably 5 or 10 minutes, you should try to remember some Gita or Upanishad statements or these ideas on the self, and keep on saying that I am that self, aham brahmasmi, and try to understand that. So with that strong feeling that aham brahmasmi bhava, if you go to sleep, then when you get up also, if you can start with that brahmasmi bhava, and in between whenever is possible, like Taila Dharavat Narada says, Narada Bhakti Sutra. So just like a stream of oil, how it will be continuously flowing, like that Brahma Bhava can be continued in the whole day, and slowly it can be extended for the whole of life also. Yes. Any question, or shall I go to the verse?
Please go to the verse, Swami.
Okay. Now, the first verse. Jagrat Swapna Sushuptishu Sputatara Ya Samvidujrumbhate Ya Brahmadi Pipilekanta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini Saivaham Nacha Drushya Vastvati Druda Pragnapi Yasyasti Chet Chandalostu Sato Dvijostu Gururittesha Manisha Mama. The just running meaning of it, afterwards I go to the wording meanings if you need. If a person has attained a firm knowledge that is not an object of perception, but is the pure consciousness which shines clearly in the states of waking, dream, and deep sleep state, and which, as the witness of the whole universe, dwells in all bodies from that of the creator Brahma to that of the ant, then he is my Guru, irrespective of whether he is an outcast or a Brahmana. This is my conviction. Manisha Mama, this is my conviction. Now, here the author is trying to take one of the Mahavakya, and is trying to tell what it is. So basically, the first verse is trying to discuss in the nutshell, the Pragnanam Brahma, which has been, we have taken from the Rig Veda. We all know that. So this Pragnanam Brahma has been discussed. Now, what is this Pragnanam? Pragna means what? It is a consciousness. In Kannada, we use differently. So here, Sanskrit Pragna, we have to take Pragnanam Brahma. That Pragna is that consciousness. So what is the nature of the consciousness? If you have studied Tattva Bodha or Aproksha Anubhuti or Vedanta Sara or Gita, Upanishads, by this time you will be knowing that, or Drugdrishya Viveka, even for that matter, consciousness is not a part or a product or a property of the body or of the matter. This we all know. The second is consciousness is an independent entity. It is the subject which pervades the entire universe and the entire body. And it is not limited by any boundaries, or it is not limited by anything in this whole world. And if the body is destroyed, if the world is destroyed, consciousness doesn't get destroyed. And even if this body is being destroyed, but still consciousness survives. So these are the few things which is eternal, which is immutable, which is no birth and no death, aja, nitya, shashvata, purana, all these things we have seen in Bhagavad Gita. So these are the few probably nature of the consciousness. That is what called Pragnanam. Pragnanam Brahma. That is the nature of the Brahman. So this Brahma is Sarvagata. It is all pervading. It is there everywhere. There is nothing, there is no place where this Chaitanya is not there. So that has been explained in this verse. So one is Chaitanya is Sarvagatam. Chaitanya is all pervading. And the one more is Chaitanyam is Nitya. It exists all the times. Bhuta, Vartamana, and Bhavishyat. Thousands of years before, was it there? Yes. Is it there now? Yes. After thousands of years, millions of years will be there? Yes. So it is Nitya. Chaitanya is Sarvagatam, Chaitanyam is Nityam, and Chaitanyam is Satyam. Satyam means it is the only reality, it exists in this world. So these are the few, important key points with regarding to Pragnanam Brahma. So that has been discussed. That has been discussed in this verse. So now probably we shall go to the verse. We will see that. Jagrad. Jagrat we know, waking state. Swapna, dream state also. And Sushupti. In the deep sleep state, Sputatara, which is very clearly evident, yeah, that is that which some with means consciousness actually. Some with Ujrumbate means shines in all beings, shines in animals, shines in birds, shines in beasts, shines in plants, everywhere it shines. Then yeah, that one which Brahmadi, that is from the creator Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma, Pipilika Anta. Pipilika means ant actually. So starting from Chaturmukha Brahma to the ant, up to the ant means all the creatures basically, Tanushu, in all living bodies, then Prota containing Jagat Sakshini. It is the witness in all these beings and it is the witness of all the worldly activities or the empirical activities. Sa eva aham. He is that or I am that. Sa eva aham. He is that. Nacha drushya. I am that subject. I am druk. Nacha drushya. I am not the drushya. I am not the seen. I am not the object. I am the subject and I am never the object. Then vastu, drushya and vastu. Vastu is object, we all know that. Iti, druda pragna. Thus, firm conviction, firm understanding, firm intelligence. Pragnapi yasya asti chet. Also, who has got that type of firm understanding, chandalastu, either he may be Chandala or he may be a Dvija. He may be outcast person or he may be a Brahmana, Dvija, twice born person. But I don't bother. I will accept him as a guru and Esha Manisha Mama. This is my firm conviction. Means the self is same in every being. There is only one self which is existing, which is all pervading, which is existing in every being, starting from Chaturmukha Brahma to the ant. That's why who has got this understanding, who has got this firm conviction in anyone, I will accept him as my guru. I will regard him as a great person, and this is my firm conviction. So Pragnanam Brahma idea has been given in this first verse. Now, if you see Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. Now, if you studied Mandukya Karika, then Avastatra Vichara, if you are done, you'll be able to understand all these things. Upanishad, if you understood, this every word you'll be able to enjoy. This one verse for hours together we can discuss. What happens in these three states of existence? For example, in the Sushupti, my physical body is taking rest. My subtle body, along with the mind, my mind is also in the rest actually. My sense organs, my mind, it is completely rest. It is inactive. It is dormant. Then my self is there. Yes, self is there. And ignorance is there. That's why, oh, I slept at 10 p.m. and I had such a sleep when 5 o'clock, when an alarm rang or the bell rang in our institution, then only I got up. 10 to 5 p.m. had a deep sleep. It happened just in a fraction of moment, as if it happened 1 or 2 minutes only, or 5 minutes only, we say. Because our physical body and the subtle body both were resting, they were inactive state or they were dormant state. In the Sushupti state, but we are aware of our experience of the sleep. We have got the knowledge of our experience of the sleep. That means our consciousness, self was there, it presented there. Okay, so that means in the Sushupti, consciousness is there along with Karna Sharira, but the body and mind is not there. Now, when it comes to Swapna, in the dream, someone of you might have a desire. If you get a chance, I should go and sit in the ISRO office and I should see that how the landing of the moon is relayed there itself. Of course, we can see TV and all. Probably you might have seen. I think Chidambar was saying that all of you watched the landing on the satellite landing on the moon. But probably if you get a chance, probably you would like to go and watch there in the ISRO office itself. You had the desire. In that, having this desire, you slept. And at some point of time, during your sleep, you got the dream where you went to the ISRO office with your friends. You were sitting and you were chatting, you were talking with this moon and some other things, whatever knowledge you got, and you are seeing some scientists, and you are seeing some small screens, big screens, some machines, all these things. You had a wonderful experience of sitting in the ISRO office and watching the satellite landing on the moon. Fine, again, bell rang or your sleep broke, then you got up, then you understand, oh, it was only dream sleep. It was only dream. It was not reality. In dream, what happened? Your consciousness is active, no doubt, and your mind was active. That means your subtle body was active, but your gross body was inactive. Your body and your sense organs were dormant, but your mind was active. Your mind was the experiencer. It took the role of experiencer. The mind took the role of experienced, and it took the role of experience also. It only formed the, you as experiencer, it took the role, and the experienced that moon and the people sitting is office, TV screen, whatever the content you experienced, even it created all these objects for you. And also you are experiencing the watching the satellite moving and moon, etc., etc. So the even the act of experience also, all these three acts, all these three roles is played by only one thing, that is mind. So mind is not dormant there, mind is active. Your consciousness was there, your mind was there, but your body and senses were completely arrested. In Sushupti, consciousness alone was there. In the Swapna, consciousness plus mind is there, body and sense organs are at rest. Now in the Jagrada Avastha, in the waking state, your body, your mind, your sense organs, your consciousness, everything is available. That's why you are able to hear me, you are able to understand, you are able to process the information. So if you see in all the three things, one is constant, one is existing in all these three states. What is that existing in all these three states? That is Chaitanya, or that is the self. Why? Because in the Swapna, body and sense organs were not there. And in the Sushupti, body, sense organs, mind is not there. And in the Jagrada Avastha, only the physical body and the sense organs were there, mind along with the self. The self was there with all these three things. So because the self is all pervading, it exists in all these three states of consciousness. Right understanding, very good understanding, very great philosophy, but how to put into practice, or what can I understand, or what can I deduce from it, or how can I make use of it? How will help these understandings for my empirical life? Or I have to face a lot of struggles, afflictions, or challenges, problems. How this Vedanta will be helpful for us? If you're real serious student of the Vedanta, this question will come, and this question should come. Probably I will tell a beautiful story of the Ramana Maharshi, you'll be able to understand. One spiritual aspirant, he had studied bit Vedanta to a certain extent. He had some serious problem. He did try to solve it in a different ways, but it was not. Then he went to Ramana Maharshi with a disturbed mind. He thought, if I go to Ramana Maharshi, is a great saint, he may bless so that my problems will be dissolved, like just like a ice gets dissolved in the water or in the sunlight, my problems may get dissolved, or he may give some special instructions, special ideas by which my problems can be handled, or it can be dissolved, or it can be solved. So keeping that in his mind, he approached Ramana Maharshi. He made a pranam to Ramana Maharshi and said, "Sir, I am suffering. What shall I do?" Ramana Maharshi just he was kneeling on his bed, and he listened to his question, and he asked, "Who is suffering?" Ramana Maharshi said, "Who is suffering?" This fellow, he thought probably Ramana Maharshi didn't hear me, or he didn't understand my question. And he said, "Sir, I am suffering from this, I am suffering from that, I've got this problem, I've got that problem." All these things he explained for 5 minutes once more. And he explained everything. Ramana, again he asked same question, "Who is that suffering? Who is suffering?" This time he got a bit annoyed. Then that fellow, the aspirant, he raised his voice. "Sir, I am suffering, and I have told you what I am suffering. And again you are asking this question. Are you not able to hear me this properly?" Ramana asked, "Who is that suffering?" This time, this fellow really, he lost his patience. Sir, if you know, you tell me, otherwise, better I will walk away. Please don't ask the same question again and again. Don't irritate me. Then Ramana said, fool, you are saying that I am suffering, I am suffering, I am suffering. Who is that I am asking you? Who is that I? Try to find out that who is that I? I'm not kidding with you. Or it is not that I have got a divide of hearing. I've got short hearing. I heard whatever you said. I am asking you, I am suffering, you said. You try to find out who is that I. There is a solution. I'm giving solution. You didn't understand. Then he took aback and he started thinking, who is that suffering? Who is suffering? I am suffering. Fine, I am suffering. Who is suffering? I am suffering. I am suffering means what? My body is suffering, yes. My mind is suffering, yes. But I am neither the body, I am neither the mind nor the mind. I am the self. I am that Atman. Shivoham, Shivoham, we have said. Then whatever the so many Upanishads we have studied, or a Gita I have studied bit. I am that Brahman. I am that self, Atman. Atman can never suffer. It is beyond all these things. Then it was a great revelation for him. It is not that he didn't knew. He knew it, but he had forgotten because of the problem. The moment he understood that, the moment he shifted his focus, shifted his attention himself from the body mind to the self, then obviously the problem might not be solved externally, but he was able to live peacefully. He was able to live with calmness and composed mind. And then you will be, as an instrumental mode, you'll be able to handle the problems, you'll be able to solve the problems, or he is not perturbed by the problems. So when you study Advaita Vedanta, when you study such type of verses, what happens? You'll be able to face your life. You'll be able to face the struggles in your life. If you see in the even life of Swami Vivekananda, he had to face a lot of struggles either in India or in the West. But still, he never lamented, he never commented, and any people that he's good or he's bad and all. Why? Because they knew very well who are they in reality. This is the greatness of the Brahmagnana. The moment when you understand this Gnana, the knower of the self-knowledge, you'll be able to easily handle your life and with a composed nature, with a calm mind, with a tranquil mind. So in the three states of existence, what is very clearly evident? Sputatara. The clearly evident is what? Consciousness, that is self. That is samvid. Consciousness it is, which shines everything, which shines every being, which shines everything. That is very clearly evident. And that is there in from Brahma to the ant. Chaturmukha, from Chaturmukha Brahman to ant, it exists in everyone. In every living bodies. Otaprota, it is there. And that is called Sakshi. That is the witness. And it is the witness of all activities, witness of all growth. For an example, from our childhood, if you say, I was a baby, then I was a child, I was adolescent, I am young now. So many experiences I've got, so many biological developments, evolution has happened with my body, with my mind, with my sense organs. Physically I've grown, intellectually I've grown, mentally I've grown, emotionally I've grown. But the knower, the experiencer of all these things, there is only one person. Hold on to that one person. That is what Upanishads are saying, or even the Manisha Panchakam is saying. So many changes is happening in the body. So many intellectual changes, mental changes, emotional changes, physical changes are happening. But the experiencer of all these changings is only one. That is what samvid, according to here, that is consciousness. That's what the author is trying to tell. Once who knows this, Sakshi, as being a witness, then what happens? Sa eva aham nacha drushya vastu. I am not the object, I am not the drush, I am druk, I am the experiencer, I am the seer number 3, that is Chaitanya. And this is the firm conviction I have got. And who have got this conviction, I accept him as my guru. Either he is from Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra, or he is from any country, any religion, any social status. He may be poor person or rich person, whatever it may be, irrespective of any distinctions, I accept him as guru. So this is what we have to understand from this, first verse. The firm conviction is the thing which we have to understand very clearly. Now in the second thing, consciousness alone exists. Author in the second and third verses, he will be telling. Now if you are following the argument, the series of arguments, then you will be able to say, Swamiji, first you said, I am drushya, never the druk, because in the first verse is there. I am the seer, never the seen. I am the subject, not the object. And you were saying that self alone exists. If self alone exists, then he should have said self alone exists. Then why did you bring Chatumukha Brahma? Why did you bring Pipilaka ant? Why did you bring Jagat? And how this Jagat has been happened or formed? Why did you bring all such type of questions? This question may come, this question should come if you are seriously following my lecture, my class or my thoughts, you'll be able to get this doubt very clear. Here we have to understand the nature or the technique of the Advaita Vedantic technique. The Advaita Vedantic technique is a one thing which, if you understand all the Vedantic text, the thought flow you can understand, the teaching style you can understand. That is Adhyaropa Apavada. Adhyaropa is superimposition. Apavada is desuperimposition. First, they said, for example, when we were small and all, we used to play in the fields. Yeah, we used to build a small hut like, or a temple or a house like, using the small stones or using available small stones if available. Otherwise, with the mud itself, we used to dig and take the mud and we used to build a small house or temple and do something. When mother called, the time is up, come for food, then we used to destroy it, we used to break it, and we used to go with, oh, with all difficulties I have built, I should not break it, I should be clean, kept it properly. If someone breaks, I would not have cried. Ourselves, we used to smash it and we used to go happily to the house. I only built that house with so much difficulty, 2, 3, 4 hours, maybe fun, but I built it. Now I only smashed and went. So this is what Adhyaropa Apavada. They build a thought process only to destroy it. Then why do they build all this thought process, and why they are making us to undergo all this thought exercise, intellectual exercise, if you ask? Because in the initial stage, just like initially, if you trigonometry or analytical geometry and all, if you say, or physics, chemistry, whatever we read, theories and all, we'll not be able to understand. For that, 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. These basic things we have to understand. So like that basic things, whatever the questions we have got, keep on answering, and how this world came, who am I, all these things they will make us to understand, and slowly they will try to make us understand there is only one reality, that is Brahman, that alone exists. Probably I'll give one more example, then you'll be able to understand. You are in front of ocean. You are went to Mangalore, you are in front of Arabian Sea. Beautiful waves, and you are taking selfie and you are playing in the water, and you are seeing small waves, big waves, sometimes very big waves. You are fearing and coming out because you may be washed in the current of the waves. Now, one of the philosophers, maybe like you can say, you can take my example. I'm sitting on the bank of the sea and just I'm observing all this. We're all playing. Swami is a Swami and is a monk and is a philosopher. Probably doesn't want to enjoy. He's always thinking that I am self, I am self. Probably we feel for him so much because he's not able to enjoy the like us, unlike us. Then you enjoyed, you had fun for half an hour, 1 hour, and you came. Then you said, Swamiji, you missed, you could have come into the water and you could have enjoyed. And I said, that's okay, but I enjoyed. I felt a lot of happiness by seeing your joy. You people were enjoying. By seeing you, I felt a lot of joy. That's enough. Then said, okay. Then you all sit in and around me. Then I asked one question. Oh, my dear, please tell me. All waves are one way, only one, are different. Then generally said, no, there are different waves for me, because again and again they were coming, and there are small waves, medium-sized waves, big waves and all. So there are different types of waves. Fine, wonderful. Now, the ocean water and waves, both are one and the same, are different. Some of you will start thinking. Some of you say, maybe different immediately. Some say, no, it is same only. Some may say, no, it is different. Someone may say, same. Someone are thinking. It is different. Yes, because water and wave both are different. That's why if the same thing, then why we give two names? We don't give two names for same object, isn't it? So similarly, water is different, waves are different. Then other guy said, no, Swamiji, I think it is same. Why? Because the water itself is a wave. There is no difference between water and waves. There is only one thing. So initially our understanding was there are different types of waves and there's a different water and different types of waves. When we are small, generally that's how we understand. Then water and waves, only two things are there, water and waves only. Then again, if your understanding becomes better, then water is appearing as a wave. That's all. The water, some amount of water has taken a particular form, that is called wave. So it has got a particular form, rupa, and based on that rupa form, you have got a different name, nama. So the water is appearing as the wave. So that means there is only water is the reality, wave is an appearance. So water alone exists, wave is an appearance. Water alone has got real existence, wave has got a borrowed existence from the water. Water alone exists, wave is only name and form. It is unreal. So to bring all of you to understand, have to intellectual understanding that water alone exists, wave is an appearance, we have to do all these mental exercises, intellectual exercises. To do these intellectual exercises, these are the things has been taken by the author. Then in the second verse, he beautifully, aham brahmasmi from the Yajurveda. So that aham brahmasmi idea has been given in the second verse. Like Brahma eva ahamidam jagatcha sakalam chinmatra vistaritam. So Brahma, the Brahman here, not the Chaturmukha Brahma, the Brahman, eva, the Brahman is really aham idam, aham and idam. Aham is I, idam means this, aham idam jagat, this universe. So Brahman alone is appearing as individual self. Brahman alone is appearing as this empirical world. Then Sakalam Chinmatra Vistaritam. Chinmatra means here it is again consciousness alone. It is only Vistaritam is projection. The consciousness is alone is projecting as individual self and also as the empirical world. Sarvancha yetat avidyaya trigunaya sa esham maya kalpitam. Sarvam, everything, every universe, all objects and individual cells, birds, animals, plants, etc., whatever you say, everything is born. Whatever you are saying, that all these things are different. This notion is born out of ignorance, avidyaya, born out of ignorance. And what is the nature of avidya? It is trigunatmika. Trigunatmika prakriti, trigunatmika maya. So we all know that trigunatmika, sayesha maya kalpitam. And all these things, whatever you are saying, this objects, world, empirical world and its objects, all these things are imagined by me because of ignorance. Itham, this is the way of understanding. This is the right way of understanding. Yasya drudamati sukatare. From when we understand this firm conviction, what happens? I attain bliss. I attain bliss means only it is actually removal of ignorance, actually speaking. Nitye pare nirmale, which is Nitya means which is everlasting, pare which is absolute, and nirmala means which is ever pure. So which is the nature of Brahman. Then Chandalo satu asatau dvijo astu guru iti yesha manisha mama. Whoever has got this firm understanding, right understanding, firm conviction, he may be a Chandala, he may be a Brahmana, Dvija, but I will accept him as a guru. And this is my firm conviction. Yesha Manisha Mama. So let me take from the second verse onwards tomorrow. Then we'll be able to go little deeper manner. So got any question with this second verse and first verse? Of course, second verse we have to go deep. So first verse you have got any doubt? Apart from that, any Vedantic questions you have got, I'll be happy to answer.
Swami,
yeah,
most of our times, our body is in control of us.
Okay.
And we are in control of our body only a few times. The question over here is, how can we develop this thought of Aham Brahma always? Is there any mantra or any solution to this problem?
I told you, no? Aham Brahmasmi notion has to be practiced always. Thinking, studying, contemplating, all these things. But before that, we have to control our body, control our mind, control our sense organs. That's the one thing. Sadhan Chatushtaya Sampannata, if you read Shamadamadi Shatka Sampatti. That's the one thing. Then Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka. We have to keep on discriminating what is real, what is unreal. Then Iyamutra Palabogadi Viraga. Let me aspire for the best thing. Let me aspire for the everlasting bliss. Let me aspire for the bliss of the Brahman, Brahmananda alone, not the Vishyananda, not the any other Ananda. And the fourth is Mumukshatva, intense desire for liberation, intense desire for self-realization, intense desire for self-knowledge, Brahma Gnana. These are the four prerequisites as given by Vedanta. This has to be practiced. When if you get this, then only you will get the purity of the mind and you will have a firm resolves you can take in your mind. With that type of mindset, when we study and when we try to understand these things, the understanding will retain in our intellect and we'll be able to put into practice. But without making any preparations when we study Vedanta, while studying Vedanta, it looks nice, it is so nice and all. But once in a while we remember, but we are not able to put into practice because our mind is with full of some kalmashas, dirts and all. So through prayer, through meditation, through service, and through chintana, satsangs, all these things by doing, we have to make our instruments fit instruments to receive this gnana or to retain this gnana time and again.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Yeah,
This was a
you were able to
thought-provoking
follow my
session.
teaching
As
style, or you want to go in a simple way still, or I can go still deeper?
Swami, this is fine, Swami. All the boys are understanding it very well, and you are explaining it in a very easy way for all the boys to understand. This was a thought-provoking session that has helped all of us understand and all of us and has inspired all of us to practice this every day. Now, all of us have gotten that idea that as we sleep tonight, that we will surely practice this and think that the one who is sleeping, the one who is eating, the one who is walking, the one who is talking and breathing, the one alone exists, and all the actions and all the enjoyment are not of the self; they're only of the mind and the body. This distinction between the mind and our true selves is the only thing that we have got to know tonight. Thank you so much, Swamiji, for having enlightened us on this topic of Manisha Panchakam, that we are the alone truth and nothing else. Swamiji, we request you to always help us and always guide us in the coming sessions also. Thank you so much, Swamiji.
Thank you.
With this, we will conclude today's session with the Shanti Mantra. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, Swamiji. Saira.